Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here. I've got to say, I'm really struggling to see how hardcore PBC fans and Jermall Charlo fans still to this day defend this dude. I mean, let's cut the BS and get it right. This is a fighter who's not fought a top quality opponent since December 2016. That was when he fought Julian Williams. That was the last fight Jermall Charlo had that I gave a damn about. The guy's fought absolutely nobody. I mean, who's he fought since then? Brian Adams? A one-legged Jorge Sebastian Highland? A 36-year-old Matt Korobov on a week's notice? Dennis Hogan coming up in weight, coming off a loss? Hugo Centeno Jr.? I mean, the guy's done absolutely nothing. You know, this guy, his career is in desperate need of momentum and big fights. And yet my man is out here turning down career high paydays against Demetrius Andrade in a unification fight. A one fight deal, you know, not an exclusive DAZN contract. You don't have to sign your life away. You can go on DAZN, get a career high payday, and if you're confident of winning, you win that belt and take it back to the PBC. Then you've got a lot more room for negotiations. But no, the guy turned it down because he's happy in his comfort zone fighting scrubs. Oscar De La Hoya come out and said Jermall Charlo turned down a huge offer to fight Canelo Alvarez end of 2018, start of 2019. You know, these are two massive fights for massive money. Unification fights, big prestige. You know, fights that would push his career to the next level. I mean, Canelo Alvarez, even if Charlo lost that fight, which I think he would have done, if he performed well, that's not going to damage his reputation at all. Even if he lost, his profile would raise. You know? And Andrade, yes, that's a more risky fight, but if you're really about it and you're this killer that you portray on social media, Demetrius Andrade shouldn't scare you. He's a good boxer, but he's not exactly a monster puncher. He's nothing to be scared of. And yet here we have Jermall Charlo turning these big fights down while shouting stupid catchphrases like lions only. Listen, the closest Jermall Charlo is to a lion who's been locked in an enclosure, and when he gets released into the wild, he'll get ripped to shreds by the apex predators. That's what Jermall Charlo's become. He's become babied, he's not fought anybody in a minute, he still talks for talk, but he's not willing to walk the walk. And what is that down to? It's down to a lack of ambition and a lack of confidence on his behalf, his team's behalf, and his promotion's behalf. They are not willing to let this guy fight on another network, and I think he's perfectly happy with that. I don't think he's about that life. He's not about being a great fighter. He's about picking up million-pound paydays against C-level fighters so he can buy his feminine man bags and keep on having those sort of feminine highlighted haircuts. That's what Jermall Charlo's about. He ain't going to be no middleweight great. He's a talented fighter. He's got a good jab. He's got a good 1-2. He's big for the weight. He can punch. He's got good attributes. He could beat a Demetrius Andrade. He really could. He's got the tools to really have a good chance in that fight, but he doesn't want to risk it. I'm really sick and tired of this dude, and more so, I'm sick and tired of the people making excuses for him. Why would you make excuses for him and let him off the hook for ducking Andrade? Don't you want to see the best fights? Or do you just want to count another man's money and have everything in-house, you little fanboy? What's wrong with you people, man? That would have been a great fight between two unbeaten champions. Hell of a fight. The puncher versus the more, technical boxer. It's a good fight. Yet you guys out here making excuses why it shouldn't happen. You're supposed to be a boxing fan, man. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Jermall Charlo's career is going absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. And you expect people to support this guy and give him the benefit of the doubt? Nah, man, he's had his time. He's still not fought anybody. It's taken too long. I'm getting sick of waiting. And this is why a lot of people are very sceptical about the PBC. Now, all promoters are guilty of trying to keep things in-house, but with the PBC, it's not even subtle. You know, you've got guys turning down huge career high paydays and turning down big opportunities and not even allowing these opportunities to come to fruition. Look at Gervonta Davis. When people were talking about that fight, he and his team shot it down straight away. No interest. Look at Deontay Wilder turning down $120 million for a 3-fight deal, 2 of which would have been Anthony Joshua. Look at Jermall Charlo turning down a career-high payday to fight Demetrius Andrade. Look at the whole Errol Spence, Terence Crawford situation. Are you on the wrong side of the street? Boxing fans are sceptical on the PBC because of things they've heard and things they've seen. A lot of you guys who support the PBC above anything else like to play the victim, like everyone's out to get the PBC and Al Heyman. No, they're responding to things they've heard from the PBC. They're responding to the things they've seen. What do you expect the average boxing fan to say when they see the likes of Jermall Charlo turning down a unification fight for a career-high payday against Andrade? The average boxing fan who doesn't give a damn who promotes fights, he just wants to see good fights, he's going to be pretty pissed off. Not everyone's hating on the PBC due to ulterior motives. A lot of people are just concerned that certain fights aren't happening, and the PBC have been guilty of blocking a lot of these high-profile fights. Now again, a lot of promoters do this, a lot of promoters try to keep it in-house, but with the PBC it's not even subtle, and we've seen Top Rank and Matchroom work together on unification fights. You know, if you sit down and talk with the right money, we've seen these guys do business. We've not really seen that with the PBC, and a lot of people will like to bring up examples of like PBC fighters fighting on a Top Rank show or a Matchroom show. You know, guys like Andy Ruiz, for example. Well, when Andy Ruiz fought Joshua, he was very much expendable from the PBC's perspective. He wasn't a big earner, he wasn't a particularly big name, he was just getting a good payday against Joshua. He was expendable, he wasn't a commodity. When he beat Joshua, the PBC did all they could to try and get out of that rematch. That's how the PBC work. That's what it looks like from the outside looking in. And if you followed this channel, I give the PBC props when they put on good cards. I thought they put on some really good cards last year, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But at the same time, they seem to be stopping fights. And as a boxing fan, believe it or not, I want a lot of these fights to happen. Do you think I don't want to see Jermall Charlo versus Demetrius Andrade? Of course I do. And that's my frustration. That is my frustration with the PBC. That's my one and only gripe, and I think that's fair. As for Jermall Charlo, what's next? I mean, if he's not going to fight anybody outside the PBC, I fully expect him to fight the best guys within the PBC. And the 2 best names available for Jermall Charlo right now are Chris Eubank Jr. and Sergey Derevyanchenko. They're the 2 names for Jermall Charlo next. Anything else is unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. No more Brandon Adams, no more Dennis Hogans. Fight either Eubank Jr. or Sergey Derevyanchenko. In an ideal world, in the spring, Jermall Charlo should fight Chris Eubank Jr. And on that card, Derevyanchenko should be the co-feature. He should fight a semi-credible opponent to get a win after the Golovkin loss, and then the winner of both fights fight each other. So potentially you could see Jermall Charlo fight Eubank Jr. and then Sergey Derevyanchenko. That's what I want to see from Jermall Charlo if he's going to duck guys from other promotions. And anything else really isn't good enough as far as I'm concerned. You know, I'm really losing my patience with a lot of these fighters. I really am. And Jermall Charlo's one of them, I've got to say. Like I said, I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a dangerous fighter. He's a good puncher. I actually like his style. You know, I like watching him fight. But when he's not fighting anybody, and worst of all, when he's not showing the ambition to fight people, how do you expect me to stay interested? Most boxing fans feel the same way. Don't give a damn who they're promoted by, or anything like that. We just want to see good fights. And when you see a guy turn down fights, how are we supposed to respond? Blow smoke up this dude's ass? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm sick and tired of fight fans doing that. I'm sick and tired of fight fans playing businessmen and things like that, counting another man's money, you know, being fans of certain promotional companies, to the detriment of certain fights not happening, and these guys will support that. We have boxing fans out there doing that. It's absolutely insane. And I don't want any part of it, I really don't. I don't mean to be so coarse, but I'm sick and tired of these. I really am. Anyway, rant over. I don't think I've been too harsh in this video. More than likely I've not been harsh enough. Anyway, I'm just a frustrated boxing fan, you know? I want to see these fights happen. Share your thoughts below. Peace.